All right, what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of continue on from where we left off before spring break with theoretical and experimental probability. So as we do this, as we talked about in the other videos, there are two types of probability that we're going to focus on. They are theoretical and experimental probability. Remember, experimental probability is when you actually do the experiment. For instance, if you want to know the probability of a coin landing on heads, to do the experimental probability, you would actually go through the process of flipping the coin. Theoretical probability is just taking it for what it is. On a coin, there are two sides. A side that has heads and a side that has tails. To figure out the probability of tails, you just take 1 out of 2, which is 1/2. So that would be theoretical, where you don't do the experiment. So what we're going to focus on are several different problems here. These are going to be similar to the problems you're going to do on digits, so I'm going to just kind of go through them. Since the table shows results for spinning the spinner 50 times, you have the spinner on the right, you have the outcome, and the frequency below it in the table. What is the relative frequency for the event spinning a 4? So we know that the formula is what you want. I can make an A there. Read the board again. Thing drives me crazy. All right, so it's what we want over the total. And what we want is spinning a 4. So how many times did it spin a 4? It spun a 4 12 times. So we're going to write it as 12 over the total. Total is 50. So 12 over 50. And then we always simplify it. So each of those can divide by 2. So that gives you 6/25, which is our answer here. So our top number is what we're trying to get. The total number, or the number that represents what we're trying to get. The bottom number is the total number and all. So we get 12 out of 50, and then that simplifies to 6/25. And I do want you to copy some things down here. So I do want you to copy this table down, and I want you to copy this part down. Okay? And our probability is to spin for a 4. All right, our next one. In an airport, we want to find the experimental probability that a person selected at random is going to city E. All right, so again, it is what we want over the total. And so we're trying to figure out the probability for going to city E. And what we want is going to city E. All right, so we're going to city E is 6, so the number of responses is 6. So what we're trying to do is figure out for city E, so that's my top number, so what we want. And our total comes from adding everything together. So if we add everything together, you have 26 plus 40 plus 12 plus 16 plus 6, and that gives you 100. So our probability is 6 out of 100, and of course we want to simplify it. Each of those can be divided by 2. So if I divide each of these by 2, that gives you 3 out of 50, or 3/50, which would be our answer. And if you will, copy this down. And then that is our answer. All right, let's do another one. All right, the table shows us students' results from spinning a spinner 28 times. Find the frequency for the event spinning a number less than or equal to 4. So we want to find the probability of a number less than or equal to 4. All right, so again, it's what you want. I'm going to put what you want over the total. Less than or equal to 4. Let me have you go ahead, and if you'll copy this down. And then I'm going to, in red, less than or equal to 4. So we want everything from here to here is actually in black. So that would be equal to 4. The 3, the 2, the 1 would be less than 4, so it would include all those. So it's what we want, which is this part right here. So if I add the 7, the 4, the 6, and the 4, That should give you 21. And then our total is 28. So our probability of a less than or equal to 4 on the spinner would be, when we simplify it, would be 3/4. And it says type an integer or a decimal rounded to the nearest hundred. And what we would need to do then is, most of you may know that 3/4 equals 0.75. And to convert that to a decimal, we move the decimal 2 places to the right, which gives you 75%. And if you're not sure of how we do that, what we do is we take the fraction 3/4, we divide the top number by the bottom, and the board's messing up again, so let me restart it. So we get 3 divided by 4, which gives you 0.75 as I have right here, and then we get 75%. So again, if you will, copy this information down. All right, I'm gonna let you try this one on your own. It says round to the nearest percent, so if you'll do that. So you'll copy down the table, and then for this one, we're gonna do the probability of baked potato or asparagus. That means you're gonna add those two together. For this one, probability of broccoli or sweet potato. So you would add those two together. Okay, so if you'll do those two, and then we're going to stop right there.